Stephen Forbes. I'm the Head of Commissioning and Adult Social Care. Today's event was bringing together our communities and health and social care colleagues to look at a health and wellbeing strategy here in Brent, which aims to improve the general health of the population and reduce health inequalities. It was a great opportunity for us to share our ideas and knowledge about how we can move that forward. We particularly were delighted to have Linford Christie here and Tanny Gray-Thompson to talk about what motivated them as sports people to get engaged in sport and to move forward in terms of health, and what empowers them to encourage others to do so.
I'm sure that you've got where you were today because of the determination and drive that you have. As a young person, what was it that inspired you and motivated you to pursue your career as an athlete?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think a lot of what I do stems from my background. I honestly believe that the talent and the gift I've got, it comes from God, and I wouldn't be here without it. But at the same time, my parents, I grew up. I was born in Jamaica, grew up with my grandmother until I came to England from the age of 7, and I think all the discipline and the morals and everything that she instilled in me, I think that kind of determination pushed me on to strive to be the very best in everything.
Today, we have the pleasure of being around a vast of council offices and many voluntary organisations such as Brent Mind, Illuminated Health, Elders Voice, and the list goes on, all of which aim to inspire and provide a better health and well-being in the community of Brent. As a highlighted and well-established sports icon, what do you think will inspire and motivate people to improve their own health and well-being?
Well, I mean, first of all, you've got to realise that, I say I'm 52 years old, and
it's very good.
And I'm proud of the fact, and I think the reason being is because exercise. I exercise now. For my career, I trained every day, but now I train maybe 3 or 4 days a week. I coach about 20 or so people, and I try to do what they do. And I have to stay in shape to lead by example. And I realise by exercising keeps me healthy. And if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter what else you've got.
Okay.
And so I believe that everyone should be, interested in trying to stay healthy, and to do a little bit every day. If you do something, it's better than doing nothing at all.
Exactly. Is there any questions from the audience that would like to be asked?
I mean, for me, the World Championships. I think, the Olympics is pretty good as well, but the whole idea is every athlete wants to be an Olympic champion, and every coach wants to coach an Olympic champion. And for me to be able to go out there, win the Olympics, but then the Americans said I only won because they weren't there, and of course to come back again the following year and win the World Championships, for me that was the proudest moment.
Okay, that's very good.
I train 7 days a week. When science says you should train 6, I train 7 because I wanted an extra day. And I always say to people, if you think in the box, then you're going to be the same as everyone else. You've got to think outside the box. And that's what I do. I think because we're human beings, no one knows what we're capable of doing. And so you've got to go out there and push your body to the limit and try not to, come down to people's expectation. You've got to think, think for yourself. You've got to do what you want for yourself. And we've got to have goals which we try. You've got to, put your hat a little bit higher than you can reach. So you've got to tiptoe when you try and get it down. And I think that's the thing I did for myself. I set myself goals, and I never let anyone tell me I can't be something. When you tell me I can't, that's when I prove to you that I can. And so it's a lot of self-belief. I believe, I can do anything I want. And, if we try, we can't all be champions, but we can all try to be. And I think that's the only way you're going to achieve. Diet. I don't have a diet. I honestly don't have a diet at all. The only thing I don't eat red meat. Because, again, it's nothing scientific, but, I watch TV and I see a lion. When a lion's eating a deer, he has to go to sleep. And then it makes you vulnerable. So for me, I don't eat red meat at all because also the body works too hard to digest it. But we have nutritionists on the team all the time, and they're trying to tell people what to eat. But a lot of the things that they say you should eat are things I eat naturally anyway. I don't really do chocolate. I don't do crisp and anything else. I I eat, the food that we, from the West Indies. I eat a lot of plantain. I eat, sweet potatoes, chicken and fish and everything else. And the biggest problem that we have as black people is that we fry everything. And that is our biggest downfall. We fry everything, and that's when it's dangerous for you. So the easiest thing is like what I do, I put everything in foil, seal it up, put it in the oven, and it steams, and I eat it. It's just as simple as that. I eat lots of fruits, lots of vegetables and everything else, but everything in moderation. When you stop your body from wanting something, that's when it craves it even more. So you have to wean yourself off slowly. So everything in moderation is good. And we just got to go back and, see what you want to achieve and, limit yourself to certain things. Stop frying your food. The association with drugs and athletics is totally different from the association with drugs and I believe in the young people. Because the kids are not taking drugs to go out there and exercise and do certain things. They're taking drugs because it's social drugs. Now, when you're at school, the first thing they'll teach you about cocaine, they teach you about marijuana, and all these kind of things. But it's now become an acceptable, sight in society. So we have all the pop stars, virtually, and because, Amy Winehouse, she took drugs and everything else, and we all say, oh, it's fine, because drugs make Amy Winehouse creative. But it doesn't. It makes her stupid because that's what she did. So we have to educate ourselves, and we've got to stop looking at, sports people and celebrities and everyone else to be role models for our kids. We have to be our own role models. My role model was my grandmother. I wanted to be like my grandmother because she did things which I thought was attainable, and she was a person I wanted to be like. We didn't have people, on television and everything else, and we use those people as an excuse for when we do things wrong with our kids, that we can have someone to blame. Look in the mirror and blame yourself for what you do and the way your children turn out to be. Know where your children are, at all times. We can't, discipline starts at home. And if, when your kids get to the stage where they're doing drugs and doing everything, that's because there's a breakdown in the family. So we have to blame ourselves. We are responsible for our own kids. Whatever drugs they take, whatever, know your children. My kids don't take drugs. I know where my kids are at all time. If I find my daughter now, I know exactly where she is. And, that's all I can say to you. Know your children.
You said that it all started in Jamaica. So what is it about Jamaica and the way things work in Jamaica that we can do here? What exactly was it? You started running at 3 and then...
When I was a kid, even growing up in England, we spent a lot of time outside. And I played hopscotch. I was maybe the best skipper out. I've got 4 sisters, and I can skip, I can do, all the things that they did. And I think what we've done, we've taken that away from the kids. So we've also taken the thinking away from the kids. Nobody wants to think anymore. Everything is done for you. And I think that's something that, our generation now, I think, is lost. We've got to try and, recover what we can. But for the next generation, I think we have to get, the schools doing a lot more. I mean, I got into athletics through schools. My teachers took me down to the track, made sure we had after school, we had, play centres and all these things. And the things that we had as kids, we are trying not to give it to our kids. But if you look at the way what it did for us, it made us better people. So why then are we not trying to give our children the opportunity to be the same, person as we are? And I think that's what we can do.